You're listening to The Real. With Rachel D. on WATV 1420. Hey everybody, and welcome to The Real with Rachel D. Happy Thursday. I'm here with my super fabulous co-host, Miss BJ.
Bonjour.
Ooh, it sounds like you've been traveling recently.
No, I just had some French fries.
Well, I actually had some biscuits from Church's. I decided to get them before the show instead of after the show so that I didn't miss it and wasn't caught up with the closing time. So I'm very proud of myself with that.
So you and them biscuits.
Girl, that's all I want. The chicken's terrible, in my opinion. But I do really, really, really enjoy their biscuits when they're fresh out of the oven and they're all hot with the honey and the butter, even though I'm supposed to be on a diet. So you didn't hear anything we just talked about for the past 1 week.
Right, carrots.
How's your week been?
It's been pretty good. I'm definitely looking forward to the weekend. But there's been so much drama this week. I mean, I don't know what to even expect, what could pop off before Saturday.
Ooh, girl, let me tell you something. All right, so for our male listeners, no offense, but complete offense. Here we go. Y'all, men can be so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
This Kevin Hart and this Usher saga has just proved that men, you really do think with your second head, and it's terrible. It's a reason why it's so small down there. Well, compared to your real head, because it's not supposed to be used to think.
And the thing is, they only notice that they're wrong after the fact.
Exactly.
That's when they're sorry.
And they are completely embarrassing their wives.
Oh my gosh.
Even though both of them deserve it, and we will get into why we feel that way. So we'll go ahead and jump in. And the person right now, well, I don't know, like earlier this morning, it was Kevin Hart that was still in the spotlight, and now Usher kind of bumped him out the way a little bit. So we'll jump with Kevin Hart because people have really been going in. So unless you're living under a rock, you know that Kevin Hart is involved in this sex scandal.
Right. It all started with, you know what? Another thing, why do people take to social media, to voice their opinion? I mean, it's so Tyrese. But anyway, so as you guys know, Tyrese took to Instagram.
Tyrese?
Oh, see, I'm stuck. Kevin Hart recently came out with a huge apology. So over the weekend, Kevin Hart, this famous comedian, took to Instagram to issue an apology to his wife, Eniko Parrish, who, by the way, is 7 months pregnant. And his 2 children for what he deemed was poor judgment. At first, people didn't really understand what his apology was about, but it didn't take long for them to know that Kevin Hart said that he was being extorted for $10 million by someone alleging to have a tape of him doing something sexually suggestive. He was very adamant that it was not a sex tape, but it was a sexually suggestive, tape.
Yeah, sure.
So he said, I'm at a place in my life where I feel like I have a target on my back. First of all, Kevin Hart, you're like 4 feet tall.
Exactly.
There's maybe on the top of your head, but not on your back. So then he said, and because of that, I should make smart decisions. And recently, I didn't. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I am or claim to be in any way, shape, or form. And I made a bad error in judgment. And I put myself in a bad environment where only bad things can happen. And they did. And in doing that, I know that I'm going to hurt the people closest to me, who I've talked to and apologized to, and that would be my wife and my kids. So, and he did come out to say the only reason he came out about it is because he wanted to get in front of this alleged tape before, because he refuses to be extorted for it, especially someone trying to make financial gain off of his bad decision.
Yeah, that is the only. And somebody broke this down. I can't remember who, but I think it might have been Charlamagne the God had mentioned that is the moment that you want to fess up to this, not the fact that you did cheat, not the fact that you cheated on your pregnant wife, and probably didn't use protection. But when it comes to your money, though, oh no, money is where it's like I gotta fix. You can't touch my money. Screw my wife and the kids, but not the money. It's like, come on.
So, right. So, this is the thing. If the extortion never came up, there never would have been an apology.
Of course.
So, I mean, in this Kevin Hart, okay. Now, let's go back in time a little bit. Let's click our little ruby red slippers. Let's go back in time.
I'm ready.
And Nico Parrish was just saying, I'm so thankful for my life with you, Kevin. We've been together almost, 6 years or 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we have this beautiful child together. And then her fans clocked her and said, hold up. Kevin Hart only been divorced for 5 of those years.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? Then she wanted to say, oh, Tori, no, everybody want to point the blame at him, but she don't want to fess up to what she did. She knows what was really going on. Now, not trying to be funny, but we all know, let's come back to the present, that saying that they say, how you got him
is how you lose him.
Yes.
It happens. And so, this is why, honestly, I don't feel bad for Nico at all, because when she said the life with Kevin, she meant the money.
Right.
And the thing is, Kevin's wife or ex-wife, Tori, never got in an apology like this. And in her interview that she did with Inside Edition, this actually was an older interview.
Right.
It aired on the 18th, but she recorded it a couple months ago. But she was actually promoting her hair care line. And naturally, because she is...
you're right.
The natural hair care, we got to get on that. And because she is naturally known as Kevin Hart's ex-wife, they're going to always ask her about it. And so, they did ask her, do you think that Kevin would cheat on the next woman? And she did try to downplay it and say, I don't know, but if he'll do it to me, he'll do it to them. And also she mentioned that Kevin, I do remember this, Kevin he would use her and their situation in his stand-ups.
Yeah, she said, I have an ex-husband who has repeatedly used me in his stand-up routine, and for years I had to endure that. So it's never like it was something that she was all the way cool with. Mm-hmm. So, but like she said, she met this dude when he was just some little dude selling sneakers. And then she said when he got famous, he just started to leave her behind.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there has to be some type, I know she had to feel some kind of way. But then, especially when the cheating started, because I doubt that Anika was the only person he was messing with.
Oh, of course.
She was the only one that probably stuck.
Of course.
So
the sad thing is, and this is one thing that I do want to start counseling women, because I don't necessarily judge Nico too bad, because we have all been there. Mm-hmm. When I say been there, not necessarily been the side chick that went to be the wife, but we've all dealt with a guy who, he might have had a bad past. The women in his past are crazy. And we try to just say it's them.
Right.
And in reality, it's him. It's tends
him.
to always be him.
Right.
But we don't want to accept that. We don't want to consider that. It's just easier to say the woman's crazy.
Right.
You made a young girl mistake. Now, unfortunately, you are married to the man. You have a baby with the man, and you're in public. So everybody is scrutinizing that. But here's the problem. If you would have encouraged him to handle the situation better with his ex-wife, people might not have went in on you like that.
Exactly.
I have a friend whose significant other cheated on. He was kind of balancing two women. He was very strategic. He reminds me of my ex. It was, they never want to give you the girlfriend title.
Right.
And it's not that they don't love you. They just don't want to. You can't peg that I cheated on you on them, because technically I'm not your
man.
Exactly.
And you're not my girl.
And so, but I'm going to act like it. And if anybody asks me, I'm going to claim you like it. And my mama think we are, but just, we can't use
right.
it. Anyway, so that's what he was doing. And so he was doing it to my friend and then to his ex-girlfriend. And so when my friend caught wind of it, she confronted the whole situation. She met with, the three of them met, but she made him, as a man, apologize to this woman. Like, you led her on, you did X, Y, and Z. And it's like, it depends on how you handle it.
Right.
And instead of standing back and reaping the benefits of Kevin's money while he's on stage cracking jokes about how he cheated and broke his ex-wife's heart, because that is very heartbreaking. But instead of sitting there and allowing him to, and allowing him to crack those jokes and use that as a stand-up, I would have been like, don't do that. Like, I would find a way to make it seem like I empathize with this woman. And be like, hey, things happen, but I'm not sitting here gloating, and I don't want him to gloat about your broken heart. But she didn't do it. She just kind of sat back and let him do his thing.
Pulled out. Let me tell you, there is a side chick manual.
Is it?
And she followed everything in the book, basically meaning you show no love for his wife or for his children, and you just basically dedicate yourself to him, because one of the side chick rules is, the reason you're the side chick and you will stay in his life is because you're not the wife. The moment you start acting like the wife, that means your side chick role is now vacant and somebody else can come in. So the moment the side chick stopped being a side chick, and became the wife, you see what happened. But that's the thing. She showed no empathy. She showed no remorse. She actually was being very petty and kind of was being shady on Instagram toward his ex-wife. And Tori shut that down quickly because she said, look, I allow you to, I'm only basically nice to you because my children are involved with you because they have to be in the house with my ex-husband and you. So, but then now I'm certain Tori, let me tell you, I'm certain she's sipping on Lipton tea. She's sipping on all kind of tea and just like, oh my, how the table turns.
Oh, yes.
How do you like them apples?
I felt the same way. Like, I spoke to years ago an ex of mine, the chick he cheated on me with. Fortunately, I was over him, and even though I was emotionally still hurt, I was, like I said, over him, moved on. I was able to talk to her. So we've been cool.
Right.
But don't get it twisted. Don't you say anything about me. Don't you say anything about the relationship that him and I had. Like, you just don't go there. It's like, don't get the smiling face smooth. Like, we cool because of the outside people that we have connected, and we're trying to be mature women. But that does not leave no door for you to come back and try to rehash some stuff and to make it seem like you're better than me in any capacity. That's when you do get shut down.
And the thing is, have you seen the woman who was, quote unquote, supposedly the extortionist? She stepped forward.
Yeah, didn't she do a press interview with Lisa Bloom?
That is her representative. The same one who's representing Quantasia Sharpton.
And Black China.
Yes.
Which is a very interesting kind of argument right here, because remember, Black China is suing Rob Kardashian for revenge porn. However, Lisa Bloom is now representing a woman who was threatening to release revenge porn.
It turns out she's a victim too, because she did not film the video. She said basically she's the one being filmed. She does not know who the third party is who filmed it and released it. So she said she is not the one who filmed it, because she clearly said, I'm not the one filming it if all you see is me and him in there. She doesn't even know how the person, she said, got into the bedroom to film those scenes. So she is now suing whoever the third party is because she's a victim.
Let me say, these side chicks are something else.
So whoever her friend is with the GoPro or that new iPhone 10 filming, and she said she'd take a lie detector test though.
But it's gonna cost
$420,000.
So if
she will take a lie detector test for $420,000. Because she said, I have no idea that the video was being shot in the bedroom scene.
Sure you didn't. You know what? I believe that there is a high society of side chicks. You have one that's probably a good doctor, gynecologist, that lets you know this is how you get STDs from famous people without risking your health. You have lawyers who will sit there and give you lessons on how to, like, not break the law, but you're going to tap it a little bit. But nothing that can get you into, like, I really believe it's too smart. It's way too smart.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. So we have to keep an eye on this.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move on to our favorite R&B singer from Atlanta, our favorite herpes given R&B singer, Usher.
Yes, Usher, you got it bad, Raymond.
Yes, let it burn, Raymond. Yo, people. Okay, so we did hear a couple weeks ago, maybe about a month ago, that it said more people stepped up. It was another woman. It was a man.
Right.
Well, now they are really coming forward. I believe the woman just really identified herself.
She did. So the woman who was unnamed for quite a while in the beginning of these alleged, STD cases, her name is Laura Helm, and she claims that she had 2 sexual encounters with the singer. She was very descriptive. She said that she basically saw an unusual bump on the inside of her vagina that was about the size of a green pea, and that the second encounter, let's just put it like this. She got it from him, and she got paid $1.1 million. Wait. Yes, she references reports that Usher paid $1.1 million to a previous sex partner who said that she had contracted herpes. So she's just basically trying to get paid like the other unnamed person he paid. So, but then while Laura Helm is coming forward, the interesting thing is now there's this gentleman coming forward. So there's an unidentified male who is accusing Usher of exposing him to herpes. He alleges that the pair had sex at a spa in Koreatown, Los Angeles, and that's where he contracted the disease from Usher. Now, at this time, Usher has still refused to take an STD test. So
I mean, because obviously he has it. But he's just trying to figure out how to explain the rest. Can you imagine being his wife, whom, by the way, there was rumors that he sort of kind of got involved with while he was still with Tamika, his first wife.
Really?
You see how this karma is just playing out and just laying out all nice and smooth and everything?
Well, I don't know about smooth, but...
I know, right? Well, I'm pretty sure she's heck embarrassed, but that's what happens. Mm-hmm. So, no, I'm definitely convinced that Usher does have an herpes allegedly, but... That's why he hasn't said anything.
He hasn't.
The quickest way to get rid of a rumor, if you don't have it, be like, here's my results.
Girl, I would go on Maury Povich and it say, in the case of Usher Raymond having herpes, he is not the owner of this disease. You know, he is clean. I would be turning flips. I would do, dances on the stage. I don't have a disease. I'm drug and disease free. Yep. Hello. But no, instead he's hiding behind lawyers and legal documents.
Exactly. And also the unidentified male, I'm not surprised because they say a lot of those men are bisexual. So that doesn't surprise me at all. And just like Tory Hart or something, you know what? 7 degrees of separation, sort of. You remember Tory Hart and Usher's ex-wife Tamika Raymond were all on that Atlanta
show together.
Exes. Yes.
Right.
And then now they exes got some stuff in the media. I bet you they have sat down and had some real tea together.
Yeah, because right now, what's going on with their exes, I mean, it's hotter than that hot sign at Krispy Kreme. And, I mean, they are all, and they're not in the media for good things. Here it is, Kevin Hart he knew what was coming. Because hey guys, let's put up, some money for the hurricane victims. Trying to play the good guy role because he knew what was coming. Mm-hmm. And then he hurried up with his apology. Now you got folks looking like, man, I could have kept my money. Kevin Hart out here doing this, trying to save face. So, I mean, some help did go to those victims, but he didn't do it for the right reasons. He was trying to save because he needs to be funny. He needs to be seen as the good guy.
Yeah.
And right now he's not looking like the good guy.
You know, it's so funny. If you go on his Facebook page, anything he posts online, people are ripping him to shreds. Did you see that picture when he was jogging? Let me see if I can pull it up.
I know somebody took and made an R&B song of his apology.
I heard that. I didn't hear it, but I heard of it, and I need to go and check it out. Let me see if I can do Kevin Hart. It was funny. It was a picture of him running. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick, guys.
And that's what I don't understand.
The comment section. Damn it. Go ahead.
These guys have really, you would think, okay, so you have these extremely beautiful women, and then they work out all the time, and that's what an older woman always told me. If a man is going to cheat, he can cheat on you with a model. He can cheat on you with a toothless lady fixing plates out of the BMP down the corner. Mm-hmm. If he's going to cheat, he's going to cheat. There's nothing you can do. You can't say, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not fit enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not rich enough. Because whatever he chooses to do, and this is not just for men, it's for women too. Once they have that mindset that they want to step out on their relationship, they're going to do it.
Oh, really? So you're saying that you don't have to, it's not the office tenderoni. It could be anybody. It could be the older lady. It could be a director, assistant director. It could be anybody. It could be anybody,
because this is the thing. While you're thinking it's the young, new, professional woman who works there, this, tall Amazonian, it could be the person, the janitor, sweeping the corners, wiggling. For him, you don't know. So that's the thing. You can't stereotype women based on how they look, saying, oh, she looks like the type that will take my man. Honey, the chick that serves, the extra crispy on Fridays could take your man.
Exactly.
So let's not stereotype women. We should point the blame at where it belongs, which is on the men or the women who decide to cheat.
And also, you shouldn't stereotype the obvious women because they do have other options.
Yes.
Like most of the time, if somebody's gonna mess with a married dude, they have low self-esteem and they're the ones that can sneak under the radar without people noticing. Just like these chicks. I mean, I guess the chicks are, I don't know. Like, for instance, Tamika Raymond's bridesmaid, the first one that came out with herpes. Somebody you wouldn't expect. There's no way she'd do it. She's a bridesmaid. No, it's always the ones that you don't expect.
Because you can kind of see now, the ones who do stick out a bit are the gold diggers. Because they have bills. They need to keep up with the Joneses. So they're going to try the hardest because they're always looking for the next paycheck. Mm-hmm. But like you said, it's the ones that you don't expect. are the ones you need to watch.
Exactly. So, on that note, guys, you're listening to The Real with Rachel D. Make sure you keep it here because coming up after this musical break, we're going to have DJ Specs and we're going to talk Trump, unfortunately. But guys, he keeps giving us material, so hey, let's talk about it. Well, make sure you keep it here, guys. We have a mix by DJ Specs. All right, guys, you're back to The Real with Rachel D here at Miss BJ.
Oh, yeah.
And are we on the phone with DJ Specs?
Yay.
DJ Specs!
What's good, fam?
Welcome back, big bro. You have a good nap last week?
Oh, no doubt.
Shade.
It wasn't a nap, but, there you go. I am good for that.
So how'd your weekend?
Well, you welcome back.
Thank you. Everybody was, everybody was blowing me up, trying to make sure I was alive. No. All of my money goes to my dog. So sorry, people. You get nothing.
Back on it, Ronson.
So I can't hold 20?
Nope. I'm broke. Ain't got no money.
She spent it on them biscuits, DJ Specs.
What's good, Miss BJ?
Nothing much.
Pat, what's good?
Oh, he's
not here.
It's just me and Miss BJ today.
Oh, okay.
It's the ladies holding it down as usual.
The original crew. Just want to put that out there.
No doubt.
All right, so let's get into Trump talk.
Oh, yes.
All right, so what hasn't Trump done? I was just going to say, what has he done? But what
Run the
hasn't he
country perfectly. That's one thing.
Actually, before we get into him directly, I do want to go rehash something that we talked about last week. You remember ESPN wanting to replace Jamil Hill. And from last week, when we spoke about it, it seemed that ESPN was not necessarily standing behind her, but trying to be very neutral.
Right.
But reports have surfaced that ESPN was actually trying to replace. Well, yeah, they were trying to replace Jamil, and her co-host Michael said, "Well, if she's not in the show, I'm not doing the show." So they tried to replace them both with fellow black sports anchors, and they said no.
Yeah, what was it?
That's the way we should rock,
Michael
we need that unity.
And DJ Specs, let me ask you a question. Okay, if you've noticed now, when it used to be like, okay, I think they used to call him a scab. Do you know what a scab is? A scab is like if, let's say if we are protesting and we're not working a job. A scab is a person say, look, I know they didn't treat you right, but I'm going to come in and get this money. I don't care that they're not treating you right. That's what they would call a scab on the picket line. So I think now that people are starting to be unified, I don't see that scab type of thing anymore, because they could have easily said, okay, I'll get their money, I'll sit in, but the unity shut them down and ESPN had no choice. So do you see that a lot of unity, DJ Specs, or do you think we still have some scabs out there?
I mean, no, we're saying, a rush of unity. Even look at the ratings for the NFL, they're down dramatically from what they've been.
True.
And that's because once we learn our economic power in this country, and when we pull back how it affects everyone else, then we can start asking for some change. Because right now we have no face that just could really just represent us to be like, look, either this is going to change or we're going to do this.
Right.
We don't have that type of union with each other. But as more people starting to wake up, more people are starting to learn our history, more people are starting to really see it for what it is, because the only good thing that came out of Trump is now we can distinguish who's really with us and who's not.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Because the racism is so blatant now.
And also, I think it teaches a lot more. There's this little crack in our foundation as black women and black men, and to see Jim or Michael, who's not just her co-host, but it is a fellow black man,
right?
Not I guess cooning, as you would say, to try to say, oh, you're wrong, you need to stay in your place, or you always talking junk or no mess like that. It was like, no, I'm standing behind her money. Regardless, I'm standing behind her. So to me, it shows more than just the fact that us as a people are standing together. Now it's like, okay, we're getting the support back from our brothers,
right,
that we need. So you okay?
Right, because that is our job, to protect our queens.
Thank you. It
right.
is.
And we've lost that along the way.
Yeah. And also, I think ESPN, while they did that, they need to realize there's a reason why Jamel and Michael are hosting Sports Center, because they had their own show, His and Hers. They are ratings gold. They just are. and you could say all like what she said, and it was crazy to me that the Secretary of the State was like, "That's fireable offense." Do you see what your president is tweeting?
Right.
Like, that is not fireable offense, but, it's very sad that ESPN would even attempt to replace them. So at first they try to play neutral with their comment, but just their actions by trying to look for any type of replacement just proved that ESPN is down with, the Donald.
Yeah.
And so...
I mean, she called it, she called a spade a spade.
Yeah.
This guy is a white supremacist. He surrounded himself with white supremacists, So, I mean, she just called it like she saw it, until more people start to understand that that's what we need to start doing. I mean, because think about it. We haven't really started instituting that word of white supremacist until here lately. Just really just going after it.
Yeah.
We're starting to call people out, about it and stuff like that. So as melanated people in this country, it is our duty, to call it out for what it is. We live in a system of systemic racism. So, a lot of these people are starting to catch the hell that we've been catching for over 400 years.
Right.
So that goes back to the DACA or whatever, where they were trying to kick the Dreamers out or whatever.
Oh, you talking about what we talked about on last week's show?
Yeah, when you weren't there.
Right. Well, I apologize. I missed that. but that's just one of my reference points that there should have been no black people out there protesting that. Yeah. Because when we have issues, nobody comes out. I mean, it's a few, but as a strong group to have our back while we have other people's backs, we don't have that.
It's none. It's like, do you remember those old westerns where you see the little tumbleweed blowing in the wind?
Yeah.
That's the people that show up for our issues.
Yeah. And honestly, and I'm very about unity. I really am, but I really wish that we as a people would stop doing that for real. Because even I remember remember the Asian man who was drug off the United airplane?
Right.
I remember Black Lives Matter stood up for that. And I was like, Asians are like, normally when they say black or brown people, they mean black, African Americans, and Hispanics. But I never hear Asians be like, they just are not in this at all. And then all of a sudden we jump in and we're like, yeah, Black Lives Matter for Asian lives. And it's like, guys, reel it in. Like, I don't never hear anything from them. So like, just kind of
even with the Asian community, if you notice in all major cities, all of them have their own community.
Yeah.
They have their own economic power base.
Yep.
So when issues like that come about, they can pool their resources together and get things done. Like look at Peter Liang up there in New York City, that cop who shot that guy in the stairwell.
Right.
First they were going to give him like 4 years or something like that. The Asian community put their money together behind these politicians, and they gave that man probation.
Yep.
We don't have that. Yeah, we can go out and protest and walk around with our hands up and do all this and that, but what actually can we do?
Unfortunately, I feel like a lot of African Americans, I feel like we're at such a disadvantage, guys.
Mm-hmm.
We had to not only change our whole lives, not us personally, but our ancestors from the release of slaves, but we had to change the mentality. And it wasn't easy. Remember, Chris, our parents, and probably your parents too, BJ, like grew up in the Jim Crow era, or at least was kids in that time. So you had to, you're dealing with parents who once dealt with people telling them, you cannot use that water fountain, you cannot use that school. So while that has ended, they probably subconsciously taught us some things about respect and who not to speak to and how to act a certain kind of way. So I feel like there's a lot of black people who are just hell-bent on getting this acceptance that they are willing to just sell their soul and their entire race for it.
See, and that's the thing. You do have the parents who were race sympathizers back then, like, well, they just don't know no better, Lord. Then you have people like the my family I grew up with who were Black Panther. Get down or lay down,
Oh, really?
Right. So they weren't nothing against MLK, but they were more Malcolm X. So I mean, those are the people who I don't take your word for it. Action. Let's see actions.
Right.
Even looking back at MLK, when he started to change the narrative about what was really going on in this country, that's when they killed him. When he started to speak out about the Vietnam War, when it was a disproportionate number of black men who were dying.
Yep.
In the war. So, I mean, he even admitted that integration, he felt like he integrated his people into a burning house. Because if you really look at the economic part of integration, before integration, we owned everything. We owned our own hotels. We owned our own bus system.
Land.
We owned our own grocery stores. We owned our own, whatever. But taxi service. But when we integrated, we thought the white man's ice was colder. In our reality, we took our foundation away.
Yeah, because, if you want to put it like a movie, we had the juice. Right. I mean, I'm to be honest. We had the juice. We had the doctors. We had the doctors who were having to do their own research, who were really being innovative in cultivating, cures for our Black community. Because you look at a lot of and it's not just during Black History Month, if you look at a lot of the very successful scientists who use a lot of the devices we use today, you keep researching, and at the very, very base of it was a Black inventor. The very fact that you have people almost paying $1,000 for an iPhone is because of a Black guy invented the cell phone. Yeah. But you don't know that.
Look at Dr. Charles Drew. He invented the way to separate blood from plasma. But he died in a white hospital after a car wreck because they wouldn't admit him.
And then here you go. Here we get a lax, Oprah Winfrey, bless her heart. They're just now, a person who made, scientific just leaps and bounds just from this dead woman's cells. But you're just now hearing about this story in 2017.
Yeah.
So, Europeans, they're a very parasitic community. A lot of the things that we invented, they took credit for. And they real quick to tell us to go back to Africa or whatever, which I'd be fine with that if they pay reparations, to the descendants of slaves, which we all are. Yeah. Gave everything back that they've stolen out of Africa with the jewels, the oil, the gold, and all that.
Diamonds, cobalt.
We can have our own power base, economically over there. But they've erased all of our history. We've had generations to where we don't know where we come from.
Right.
So we're a product of their environment.
Yeah. But, it does look like we're doing better. And I hope that we're able to continue to strive forward. But it's time to go to a musical break. But DJ Specs, thank you for calling in. Look, we barely even talked about Trump.
I know.
Maybe something that we should just forego next week and just really focus on the building of our people. Unless, of course, he does something incredibly stupid, which I'm almost betting on it.
Well, every day he wakes up, he does something.
I'm all fine for that, because one thing about, and I'll leave on this note, one thing about our community is we don't support each other.
True.
I'm in I have my own business, my DJ business and stuff like that. Either we don't support each other or we cut each other's throat.
And I always had a question about that because I'm going to be honest, when the little African ladies come over to do hair, now let me tell you something, it'd be like you go in, you make your appointment. It's one lady you make your appointment with, but when it comes time to do your hair, it's like 3 or 4 of them that come out the bag to do your hair. Yeah. And my question is, why is it as African Americans we can't, have our own business or support our local business, but when we have foreigners, primarily Africans or Nigerians, Kenyans who come over, they instantly jump into the business and they support each other. So there's a something missing. Yeah, disconnect there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that goes back to, you say the Jim Crow was over. You just said that over, sis, just a little bit ago. Mm-hmm. Jim Crow is not over. It's just been more refined because you have these Pakistanis and these Indians, these other Asians and stuff like that. They can come over here and get these no-interest loans to start up a store, and they don't have to pay taxes for 10 years. But what they'll do is that at the 10th year, they'll transfer ownership to another family member, so that just regenerates the no tax for another 10 years.
Another 20
But I can't. I can go into a bank. I get good credit. I can go into a bank, get a house loan, I get a car loan, or whatever. But you won't give me a business loan.
Right.
All right, we could talk about this all day. Just make sure to be back here again, DJ Specs. Let everybody know where they can find out more information about you.
You can find me on Twitter at DJ Specs at OG Smooth, on Facebook at DJSpecs.com, and that is also on my website.
All right, big bro. I love you. I miss you.
Love you too. Miss you too. I'll be seeing you in November.
All right, then.
All right, Mr. BJ.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Mix by DJ Specs.
Hey guys, that was a great mix by DJ Specs. We're back with The Real with Rachel D. I'm your girl, Miss BJ, and I have over here Miss Rachel.
I'm a little freaking out. That's why I'm so glad that we have in studio with us two big, muscular police officers. Just hanging out,
For the biscuits.
Absolutely. So thank you, gentlemen, for watching the door and watching the perimeter.
No problem.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get back into the celebrity news. Guys,
Yes.
We talked so much about Usher and Kevin Hart that we missed so much more. All right, so let's jump into Kevin Durant.
Okay, guys. So just keeping up with just crazy stuff in social media.
Exactly. Okay, so let me tell you what Kevin Durant did. Now, we all are guilty of doing a little bit of social media stalking.
Right.
So, we've all probably checked people's profiles, some other profiles.
Yeah, profiles.
So that people don't know it's you, right?
Right.
So what you do, this way you have to pay attention because accidents happen all the time.
Right.
So Kevin Durant had a fake Twitter.
Oh my gosh.
And he was trying to defend himself with his fake Twitter.
Right.
However, he ended up not switching the profiles and posting it from his real
Actual Twitter.
Exactly. So, egg on his face.
And what's so bad is that's kind of like when you're lurking on Facebook and you're just maybe checking profiles you're not supposed to check and you accidentally hit the like button. Girl. That's basically what he did. He was commenting as himself thinking he was his own fake profile. So embarrassing.
I've done that. I've accidentally liked somebody's thing.
But my thing is, what was the big deal? I mean, while he was pretending to be this fake person, he was taking stabs at the organization and, former players. And since then, now that he noticed his mistake, he, of course, deleted them from his account. But folks have screenshots.
Exactly.
So, girl, let me take mine out too.
I know, it's just in case. No, but here's the thing about Kevin Durant. He left Oklahoma City Thunders, and I should have had Chris on here because they are very sensitive about that. And so, people give any player a hard time when they transfer.
Right.
So he's been getting a hard time. So I guess he just needed somebody to support him because the truth is, if he would have snapped back on his own, it would have been out in the negative and it would have seemed like he was ungrateful for his fans. So,
right.
I get why he did it, but you got to be more careful. That behavior is what got Kevin Hart and Usher caught up.
Exactly.
Be careful. All right, so moving on to something good, actually. Selena Gomez. I actually remember seeing this picture circulate on Instagram, but I did not know it was her because I didn't look at it very closely, and I didn't see it from her actual Instagram account. But she received a brand new kidney from one of her close friends.
Right, and honestly, I didn't even realize that Selena Gomez has been suffering with lupus for many years. So, it just so happened that the donor of her kidney was her really, really good friend that she was on the television show, The Secret Life of American Teenager. So Miss Francia Reza donated her kidney to her really best friend, Selena Gomez, which is why she's kind of been out of the public view for a while.
And that is very nice. I don't have friends like that, and I'm not that type of friend. But I would definitely send you flowers. No, I'm kidding. I might just do that. But before we get back to that, we are on the line with Kevin Johnson. Kevin, are you there? Calvin Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, I called you Kevin. Oh, we're talking about Kevin Hart. That's what happened. How you doing? Can you hear me?
I'm wonderful. How you doing, Rachel?
I'm good. I'm here with Miss BJ.
Hey, Calvin.
How you doing?
I'm great.
All right. Thank you for joining us. You have a big event coming up. It's next weekend, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you tell us about it?
Well, September 30th, Saturday, from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., we have the Atlanta Kids Fashion Show. And later on that day, from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., we have the Queens with Curves Fashion Show. So that's going to be really big. We got I think we sold for 25 or 24 more tickets, and we can call it a sold out show.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Very, very nice. So the Queens with Curves, that's a recently changed name, right?
Yes, from last year, it was the Atlanta Full Figure Fashion Weekend, and I wanted to come up with a different name because Full Figure was somebody else. They say was somebody else in New York and all this stuff there, but it was Atlanta Full Figure Fashion Weekend. So I just had to do a little mind mapping, and we came up with Queens with Curves. That's who they are.
Right.
Right.
So how long have you've been putting on fashion shows for a couple years now, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So what made you get interested in it besides the fact that you're super tall?
Well, I do bodyguard work, so and once I took a client to the Bronner Brothers show, and I just looked around up how big the building was, and I was thinking like 15 to 20,000 people at a fashion show. I didn't know Atlanta was doing fashion shows after I booked the Georgia International Convention Center for 20,000 people, and then they said open up Eventbrite. And when I opened up the Eventbrite, I seen so many fashion shows, and I said, wow. But I failed the first show, and I just kept pushing.
That is amazing.
It is. What made you want to do kids as well?
Excuse me?
I said, what made you want to also do kids fashion shows as well?
The kids, the parents, really, because for me now, I think all parents see something exciting in their kids, and they see their little kids, their little prince and princess, and so we opened up a platform for the Atlanta Kids Fashion Weekend.
And all of that. So basically, when you get a ticket, does your ticket serve for both shows, the kids show and the full figure?
No, it's two different shows. So it's a ticket per show. We got the Atlanta Kids Fashion Show, that's a ticket, and the Queens with Curves, that's a ticket.
All right, cool. So it is next weekend. Can you tell everybody what time it starts and where it's going to be located?
Mm-hmm.
It's located at the Wyndham Atlanta Galleria Hotel, 6345 Power Ferry Road.
Okay.
That's the next exit past Carr Parkway. From 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., you got the Atlanta Kids Fashion Weekend. A lot of things happening for the kids, especially the girls. They're going to come in and get their mani-pedi, their feet soap, etc., etc. Because I don't know too much about the girls. And from 7 p.m., we going to present the Queens with Curves. It's going to be a dynamite show, and we have a special segment of really curvy women coming on. That's going to be like the first walk-in. They're going to be representing everything about Good Life.
All right. And Good Life, can you tell us a little bit more about your company? I remember that.
Okay. Good Life is the brand name for the fashion shows. It's Good Life Fashion. And it took me like some months to come up with the name. I was thinking about Showtime Fashion and all kind of names. I was coming back from North Carolina driving, and Kanye West came on the radio and like, welcome to the good life. And then what I heard him say, I got a passion for fashion at the end of the song, and I like, good life, good life. It just came about like that.
All right, I love it. All right, so the Atlanta, the Queens with Curves fashion show is next Saturday, September 30th.
Yes.
The 30th, September 30th, Saturday, September 30th.
At 7 p.m.?
At 7 p.m. We're going to open up the red carpet like 6 o'clock p.m. And we got a few people coming. You know, I'm not going to call no names, but it's going to be a few people there because I gave them VIP seats and everything.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Well, the Real with Rachel D and the Credit Fellas actually have a booth there. So we will be there in support. And so I'm super excited.
Yes, ma'am. We got like 15 or 16 vendors. We didn't want to have 30 too much because so many jewelry people wanted to sign on and making their own jewelry. We kept it down to 2, but we have various vendors going to be there. A lot of designers going to be selling their garments and things like that. So the people at the show, they got a chance to get a piece from the designers, which probably they make like 1 to 3 pieces. So you can have an exclusive piece.
Oh, wow.
to wear of your own.
Oh, nice. Sounds
See,
awesome.
that's amazing.
All right. Well, we're super excited, Calvin. I cannot wait to see you again next Saturday, and we'll definitely help to promote the event on our social media pages. And thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you, ma'am, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all in the public.
All right. Absolutely. Well, you enjoy the rest of your evening, and we will talk later.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, guys. Coming up, we have another mix by DJ Specs. Make sure to keep it here.
Whoop, whoop.
Yo, welcome back.
I thought you was about to rap, girl. Yo.
I one of these days want to break out into a nice, smooth freestyle. It's not going to be today.
You could
Maybe
pull a
next week.
Cardi B.
But
Bodak Yellow.
something, if I wanted to. Da, da, da. These are red bottoms. These are
Bloody
shoes.
shoes. Yeah.
All right. So that was our guest, Calvin Johnson.
Yes.
We met him last year. Very, very super tall guy. And he does fashion shows. And so you will see.
Great events. He puts on great
He
shows.
does. You will see some of the crew of The Real with Rachel D at some of his fashion shows. We are going to be out and about more often.
Yes,
Guarantee
definitely. Slay.
I mean, all this good lookingness has to be seen by more than just our husbands. Come on.
Right? Hello?
All right.
I mean, that's how we got him. So.
That is so true. Good one. All right. So where do I want to go with this? I'll go back to the celebrity news.
Okay.
All right. So we did Kevin Durant, Selena Gomez, Mel B. This right here kind of hurts my heart a little bit.
I know. Because
such
she's
a
been having a hard time.
She is, but it's her phone.
I mean, so basically, you guys know she's going through a very, very messy divorce with her ex, Stephen Belafonte. But at the height of their divorce, Mel B had went on to say that there were allegations of abuse.
Yeah.
And, like he was doing this to me, he was doing that to me. And basically, her ex was like, okay, prove it.
And she couldn't. In fact, it was almost the opposite, guys. There was the nanny that she said there was a nanny that got pregnant by her husband, and that there was sex tapes. But then a nanny came out and said, "Wait a minute. First of all, she never denied the whole pregnant thing, but also she did say that she was engaged in a sexual act. In fact, she did say that Mel and her husband kind of solicit her to be involved in their lives.
Right, their personal lives.
I am very disappointed because Mel, she always takes me as somebody who's out there.
Right.
But it does seem like she's fabricating some things to try to make the husband look like
bad.
the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's making her look like the bad guy because now you're in court and you got to, talk under oath and you can't keep this lie up. Otherwise, you're going to get perjury. So it's a lot of mess going on, but she actually does have to pay him, by the way. He did want, because he was her manager. So, he got paid that way. So once they broke up, she cut him off, but the judge did say that she has to pay him a little something. I think that's $20,000.
And she's also being sued by that same nanny for defamation of character.
Yeah,
That's
I believe
crazy.
It is insane in the studio today, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, officers, for having
You so
the door
wild.
right there. So yeah. Besides that, what was I gonna say? Okay, let's talk about Janet Jackson real quick.
Janet Jackson, isn't she looking snatched after that baby?
Yes, she is. But rumors or reports have come out that she actually has had a very tumultuous relationship with her ex-husband.
Right.
And her brother, is it Randy? It was either Randy or Tito. I always envisioned Tito being the one who just tells all the family business.
Right.
But I think it was Randy this time that said that her relationship with her husband was allegedly abusive.
Yeah, and she could not wait to, well, she got into it. You got to realize, after the death of her brother, she was feeling unstable because she was very close to Michael. And then you got to realize, before that, she had just had her split with Jermaine Dupri. So her ex-husband at the time, Almana, had came in just in time to kind of sweep her off her feet and kind of take her away from a lot that she had going on. And very quickly, he took care of her. He traveled with her. He made her feel like she wanted to be a family. And she got, pregnant.
Yeah.
But before all that, I think the pregnancy, taking that time away from her tour, let her know that she wants the baby, but she doesn't want to be his wife anymore.
Well, here's my thing that was very confusing. You guys know that they had a prenuptial agreement that if she stayed married to him for 5 years, that she got $500 million.
Yes.
And so I did hear reports somewhere saying that the Jacksons were having a little bit of financial problems.
Issues, right.
So I wouldn't be surprised if Janet was the one that went out there and bit the bullet in the moment. Like, I have a friend like that who married a guy for her green card. And the moment that sucker came in the mail, she was out.
It's over. Goodbye. Yes. Thank you for the money.
Yeah, thank you for your services. It's no longer needed. And so I feel like that's what happened. But of course, no man, I believe these allegations. Let me tell you why. $500 million is a lot of money. And men who have that type of money, let alone have enough to give you that money,
oh yeah,
they are probably not really reasonable people, probably don't know how to compromise, probably don't know how to really communicate effectively.
Right.
He probably had his knee on her neck, not
figuratively. Yeah.
But, I can see him, especially with the country that he was from, Muslim religions, that he probably was like, cover up, don't make eye contact.
And we did see that change in her.
Yeah.
So.
But, I think that she had a purpose behind it. But now that she has this child, it's like, not only is this man not going to let you walk away with $500 million so easily, but his son, his one and only son, the heir to his throne.
Oh, yeah.
But then again, this man knew what he was doing. It's Janet Jackson. It's just like certain people, celebrities like Janet Jackson, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Crazy Self, and Jennifer Lopez. So I feel like every younger guy, because remember he's younger, wants to get with that,
celebrity, their dream girl.
Absolutely. So, hopefully everything works out. I don't think he's going to do anything to her. She's on American soil, and she's the mother of his child. But yeah, that was very tumultuous. But I did hear a rumor about her possibly getting back with
Jermaine Dupri. I did as well. Sources say that they've been hanging out kind of tight lately. So you never know.
I like that. They were the oddest couple, but I like them as a couple.
But they vibe. I mean, they had their own, what we see on the outside, it may look odd, but they had their own, vibe going. So
absolutely. All right. So I'm going to actually skip this one. I know, guys, it is storming terribly outside, so hopefully we don't get knocked off air. But let's go ahead and get into some WTH social media. The craziest stories that we found on social media this week. Surprisingly, it was a little dry.
Yeah.
And I think it was because of Kevin Hart and Usher. There was nothing else to talk about but this. But we were able to squeeze out just a little bit of the juice for y'all.
Right. So let's kick this off. When I was growing up, whenever I acted out, all my mom had to do was either spank me or threaten to take away something that I like. But apparently these days, parents are getting a little bit bored with the old school. So what happened is Boardman Township arrested this gentleman named Vernon Barrett Jr. on charges of child endangerment and inducing a panic in the public on Saturday because this guy put on a clown mask and chased his daughter as an alternative to spanking her for disciplinary action or issues.
Right.
So, I mean, now, mind you, there is like that clown movie out, that kind of, that has people a little over age, especially if you're scared of clowns. Mind you, his daughter is 6 years old.
Yeah, I don't know. Because it's like, I'm still a fan of butt whoopings.
Right.
And I get why parents don't do it anymore like they should. Not because they think their kids don't deserve it. You can go to jail for everything nowadays.
Right.
However, I'm not a fan of scarring your psychological
scarring your child for life because so this is what the police say happened. He put the clown mask on and chased her. So she ran out of the apartment, jumped into the car with a stranger, jumped out of the car, ran down the street, ran into a stranger's apartment. So now, mind you, he's still chasing her in this clown mask. So what happened was the tenant at the apartment saw the masked man, saw that the girl was scared. She was yelling, "Help me." So this guy pulled out a gun and started shooting at the clown's feet, at the grass near the clown's feet. So not only did the father wearing the clown mask get arrested, but the tenant got arrested as well for discharging a weapon while intoxicated. This was a chain of events that could have really ended badly.
Exactly. See, now that you gave me the details of the story, yes, he deserved to get arrested.
Yeah.
Because what if your child in the midst of, that's why those clown videos that scare people, and they take off running in the middle of the street. I'm like, now what if they run into front of a car?
Right.
Like, what if that happened to your child?
And that's the thing. This girl jumped in the car with a complete stranger, jumped out. People were calling the police saying that there's a clown chasing a young girl. They didn't know that that was the girl's own father. The girl didn't even know it was her father. So now he's sitting up in jail looking stupid.
Exactly. And then your child is very scarred. That drunken man shooting at your feet, you're lucky that he hit the grass.
Right. He probably was aiming for him, so you should be glad he's drunk. He probably was aiming for you and could only hit the ground near your feet.
Exactly. All right. So moving on. I've always been looking for a part-time job. And I don't know if this job particularly pays well, but I wouldn't mind being a professional mourner.
Right, because you always have to have the one that shows up to the funeral to kind of liven it up. But this person, okay, so this is apparently what happened. There's a mourner at a church who goes to a funeral at a local church just to eat the food. And this church is tired of it. So it's been a few relatives who've attended a couple funerals at this particular church. And they've noticed that for the last 14 years, this same woman keeps showing up to the funeral and does not know the family. And I mean, it's gotten so bad to where mourners have talked to the priest and said, hey, we don't know her. And he's like, well, I can't really tell her not to come because who am I to know that she wasn't a friend of a friend? And they said she'll come up, start chatting with the family. Next thing you know, she's sneaking out the door with a large plate of food. So they call her a bogus mourner. And she said that, the priest approached her and she said that it was her duty to attend as many church mass as possible, even if there's a funeral. But they say every funeral they have, there's always a reception afterwards. And she's seen in there making a big plate. Even one time she showed up on a bicycle and she was almost chased off, but she didn't leave until she got a plate of food.
Wait, is this woman black?
Honestly, all I know is this took place in England.
Probably not.
So I have no idea.
I'm not gonna lie. That's some black stuff.
I mean,
black stuff. That's the N asterisk 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 A.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Now that is, I would call it ratchet.
Ratchet stuff.
It's very hood because you do have some people who will just show up. Oh man, I hate to see him gone like that. You like it's a she. I hate to see her gone like that. Yeah. So they over there getting chicken, fixing the plate. Yeah. With the family, pouring bottles. I mean, but you have people who will do that.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to, diminish anybody's grief, but this kind of made me roll my eyes and laugh. So, at my dad's funeral, there was one lady sitting on the front row. Can't tell you who she was, by the way. And I was annoyed because I'm like, why is my brother sitting back there?
Right, and she's sitting up at the front.
But strategically, whenever the chorus started singing and it got loud, that's when she started mourning. She's like, oh, Lord, oh, my God. But when it got quiet, she was quiet.
Interesting.
And that just took my focus away because I was just like, that's very coincidental. Let me see if she's going to do it again. And when the band started and it got loud because nobody else heard her.
Right.
My brother's like, I didn't hear it. I was like, maybe I was 2 people away from her. But it's like every time it got loud because of the music, she started screaming.
Yeah.
And I didn't see her any time after that.
I call it the church hat theory. A lot of people in the black community, they want to outdo someone. So, you wear, a church hat with a nice little flower on it. Here comes someone with a bigger hat and a peacock feather. Then here comes someone with the whole daggone peacock on top of their head. So it's all about trying to be outdone. And the thing about it is, most of the time, these aren't even people who attend the church.
Exactly.
They just heard that it's like pastor's anniversary or Women's Day, and they refuse to be outdone.
I can't wait to be like that when I get older. All right, so our final WTF social media story is a security guard who shoots himself, but he tells police officer that a black man actually shot him.
Okay, so guys, this happened in Minnesota. So what happened was this security guard accidentally discharged his weapon, wounding himself. So what happened was when they asked him about it, so he shot himself in the shoulder. Mm-hmm. When they asked him about it, it was 9:30 on Tuesday night. He told them that he had been shot by a black man with a short afro who was wearing a navy blue shirt. And then within minutes, 55 officers were swarming the campus of a Catholic university where this guy worked. So he got rushed to the hospital. They had a news conference. They had people speaking. They put the whole entire campus on lockdown. That's almost 2,000 students on lockdown, searching for this black guy with a short afro and a navy blue sweatshirt. So what happened was they started to ask him questions. And the police started to notice as he started to recant his story, there were some inaccuracies there, or things started changing. So eventually, it turned out, dude lied. He shot himself.
What the heck is wrong with people?
And he blamed it on the suspect at large. And it got plastered everywhere. It was all in the news. Like I said, they had a press conference. They were looking for the black man with the short afro. Never existed. And a lot of people say they were skeptical of his story from the beginning, but like they said, he was hurt. So they were letting him, heal a bit to get his question. But the whole black community was being, like I said, 55 officers showed up. They were canvassing all the black communities, harassing black men who fit the description, who were wearing navy blue sweatshirts with short afros. And the fact that he put all these people at risk with the lie, the NAACP for the Minnesota area stepped in and was just like, that's what black people have to live with. People lying on us about something that didn't happen, but we're the ones at risk.
Exactly. Because if a police officer would have questioned a black man with a short afro and a navy shirt, then, if the black guy acted offended, because it depends.
Belligerent, right.
It depends on how you approach me. If you say, hi, miss, excuse me, ma'am, where were you, if you don't mind me asking, where were you, Tuesday at 2:00? You might be like, I was
None of your business. I was at churches getting them biscuits.
Well, I would hope that you would say it'd be a little nicer. But if they come to you and be like, I know where you were, or just accuse you. A lot of times when we hear people of non-color mention about how we need to interact with the police, I'm like, y'all don't understand. We don't get approached as in, good morning, ma'am. Can I see your license? Where are you on your way to? We don't get that. We get basically, what the hell is wrong with you? Like
or they approach you with guns drawn, get out of the car, do
Exactly.
not make any sudden movements. And the thing is, they were already on the defense or offense. I don't know, child. But the police,
she don't watch football,
right? But the police already were looking for a very violent black man who was armed. Mm-hmm. So mind you, they're looking for someone with the potential who was going to shoot them. Yeah. So if anything got out of hand, somebody could have lost their life just because somebody wanted to lie. Just say, Gomer Powell, that you shot yourself. It was an accident. But the first inkling in his mind was to blame it on the black guy.
Exactly. You could, if I was going to lie about that, which I could kind of understand why he did. Number one, it is embarrassing. Number two, you can go to jail for shooting yourself.
Yeah, or discharge. It depends on where he was. Maybe discharging his weapon and
because there was an NFL player that shot himself in the foot and got 6 months in jail. It's depending on where you are. That is actually legal, so he could have went to jail. But I would have just said, look, a stray bullet hit me. I don't know where it came from. It came the door was open. I would have said anything, but you went out of your way to pick a race, to pick a hairstyle, to pick a shirt. What's wrong with
specifically? And then my thing is, how long would the lie have gone on if they arrested someone? Do you recognize him? He's the one that shot me.
Yeah, but I appreciate the police officers willing to do their due diligence and be like, okay, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense.
Right.
Because at one point in time, they probably would have found a way to make it.
Because they're like, okay, dude, you're a security guard. You got shot while working. We don't see this on the camera. So where were you? And then that's when he said, he was in a dimly lit wooded area on the southwest side of the university. Okay. So his story kept changing, and that's when they saw, inaccuracies, and then now he's charged and he's in jail with a shoulder wound.
Good.
It's crazy.
Good, and more good. All right, guys, you're listening to The Real with Rachel D. Make sure you go on social media to show some love and support on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at The Real with Rachel D. Make sure you keep it here. We have more show coming up for you, but now we have a mix by DJ Jack Nice. All right, guys, welcome back to The Real with Rachel D. Your girl, Rachel D, here with Miss BJ.
Yes.
So she was just looking at my phone, and let me tell you what this is. I joined a meal delivery service, Home Fresh. That's what it's Home Chef, sorry.
Yes.
That is what my mother used, and I went over to her house one day, and I made one of the meals, and it was so good.
And was it simple to follow?
Yes, it was. It was salmon, and it was delicious. And so I just got my first order. What she did, and I will do it for you, Miss BJ, she actually sent me these meals for free. So it's like after you do it for a while, they're like, okay, give somebody meals for free. So I got 2 meals for free that got here Tuesday, and I want to cook one tonight. The only thing is one of my meals did not come with it didn't come with the what do you call it,
seasoning, sauce?
I don't want to say the instructions on how to cook it.
Oh, got you.
So
you're just gonna pull it up online.
I am.
Yeah.
So it has it. Yep. Download the app and it has it right here.
How convenient.
Here's the thing though. I don't think that this is the right one because I don't remember getting shrimp. But I guess I'll check it when I get home. Anyway, welcome back to The Real with Rachel D.
Yes.
All right. So here's one thing I really want to talk about. This kind of annoyed me. This whole thing with, what's her name? Kanika Jenkins. All right, guys. So unless you've been living under a rock, or maybe even the name itself does not ring a bell to you, I know that everywhere has been posting about a young lady in Chicago that was found dead in a freezer.
Right.
And so I really got involved into just reading all of this information and watching it unfold. So to start from the beginning about what the initial speculation was, that they said that she was intoxicated.
Right.
And that she walked down to this freezer downstairs.
That was no longer in use. It was a part of the hotel that was being renovated.
Yes, but it was still operating.
It was still operational.
And she went they say that she walked into the freezer and she died there. However, there's so many holes in the story that people are not buying it. People aren't. Starting with the friends.
Yes. So that night, it was her friend.
Sorry.
It was her friend's party. She attended with her friends, and they started posting Facebook Live videos, in them which you could see one girl who was listed as her friend, Irene Roberts, and who had on those Back to the Future glasses. Like, she was looking cute. I was like, really? And I mean, I'm not even going to be funny. It was ratchet. Yeah. The people involved were ratchet. I'm not even holding back because all you heard was trap music. The girls were, to me, acting high or drunk out of their minds. Mind you, these are teenagers, you know. And what initially started was some incident with the Facebook Live video. After it was discovered that Kanika was found dead, people started really dissecting the video. And then everybody started saying, okay, after 2 minutes, you can hear this in the background, or you can see the reflection of what's going on in the background clearly in the girl's video. So that's when everyone started paying attention. But in it, all I saw was a bunch of drunk, high, rowdy teens.
Right.
So.
And so, besides that, people were, when they were dissecting this, of course you want to think about what you would do in the situation.
Right.
There's plenty of people in this room, plenty of girls, and women have a girl code. When we like you, that's why people expect foul play, because how do you all get drunk and high? Or was taking drugs. And Kanika, is that her name?
Yeah, Kanika.
Kanika Jenkins happens to disappear from the rest of the group and end up in a freezer.
Yeah.
Women can go to the club or to the restaurant and go to the bathroom together. That's what we do. So how does one girl, with all these dudes, because that's another thing, a man will follow some booty anywhere.
Yes.
They all let her walk out of the room, walk downstairs. By herself.
And then not even notice for hours later that she's gone. 21 hours later, where Kanika at? No, I'm going to tell you, we could be at birthday bash with 2,100 people. I'm with my homegirl. If she got to go to the bathroom, we all going to the bathroom. If you want some hot wings, we want hot wings. Yeah. If you want a drink, we want a drink. No matter where you go, oh, this guy cute, we gonna go to the car. Okay, I hope he got room for all of us.
Exactly.
We are not letting you out of our sight. But just like Rachel said, if we like you.
Exactly. Like, I watch the ID channel all the time.
Yes.
And you will see so many stories about girls who will set their friends up.
Because they're jealous. It all stems from something. Envy, jealousy, is something.
Yes. And so if you look at the girls, like you said, Irene, the one who was doing the video thing, ratchet. Yes. She had orange hair.
Orange hair, those brown Back to the Future shades. Yeah. I couldn't barely understand what she was saying. All I heard was, bruh, bruh. I'm like, honestly, at first I thought it was a dude.
Oh.
I honestly did. I'm like, who is this dude? So, but then, like, I didn't understand that's when it was trending. So I didn't know what this video was popping up on everyone's Facebook. But then I heard what happened, and people started dissecting it. And they said at one point you could hear a girl saying, no, like, stop, help me. And that's when the music got turned up. So my question is, you really have to be, as a female, I mean, like, unless it's your really, really, really best friend, always be aware of your surroundings. If you're around some phony people, and we as females know, we can go to a party and we know, okay, this girl doesn't really rock with me. I'm not going to get blitzed out of my mind because I'm not with my people who will have my back. So you have to keep your wits about you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, and that's another thing. Number one, they were underage anyway, but I mean, in any environment, don't get so drunk to where you are not aware of your surroundings, where you can't defend yourself.
And the hard thing is sometimes you just really don't know how people feel about you.
Yeah.
Because I used to be friends with some girls when I was in college. And looking back as an adult and years later, I look at all the jealousy. Because I personally hate when I hear girls go on about how people are jealous of them. They're so jealous.
Right.
I think that it's in their head. I'm like, what are you're delusional. It's in your head. But, looking back as an adult, you really do see how some women want your downfall. They want to rip you apart. You come in looking good. Why you wearing that? She thinks she's like,
right.
And those be your friends. And then I've been in several situations where, whatever thing I told them as a friend was used against me as an enemy. And so you have to be very careful, but then there's always signs, like you said. But of course, she's 19. You don't learn that at 19.
No, and that's what I don't understand.
So, but also to move on, guys, there was so much more to it because there was something about $200.
Right. They were trying to say that the gentleman involved at the party paid one of the girls $200 to basically turn the other, cheek, or just turn a blind eye to what they were doing to her friend. So there was something like these guys, backstories that like her brother, maybe her boyfriend had done something that these guys were going to take revenge out on her for. So, and they gave her friends $200 to basically be like, you don't know what happened. So...
Yeah, and I also saw, and this confused me. That's why I'm surprised it didn't come out. They said that one of the men confessed on their Instagram, and the Instagram account had like 8,000 followers beforehand, and like they were following 1,000 people. So this was not a fake Instagram.
Right? It was a legit one.
But the person deleted all the posts that they ever posted, and they posted one that said, "We didn't mean to kill her. We were just raping her, and she went to cardiac arrest, and we panicked." So there's so many things, but the police came out and said that all of these, he called them social media detectives, have actually made it pretty difficult for them to do their job effectively because it's so many things.
Right.
And so they did put out a video that people are even questioning the authenticity of that video.
Right.
Because they said that the girl's jeans are different, that the girl
that
in the
she's
video
too
is thicker.
thick. Right.
And the hair is different.
Right. And then, too, my thing is, I mean, then there was a video showing what kind of freezer it was, where you can only open it from the outside, and you can only close it from the outside because it's not a door like you walk into a house door. It's a sliding door. Yeah. And the only way you can slide it is from outside of the freezer. Yeah. So it's so many theories going on. So
and the video never showed her going into the freezer.
No, just in the area.
And also, I noticed the timestamp on the video. The timestamp was for like 2:30 a.m., which is interesting that she roamed around a hotel in the wee hours of the morning, and no security guards saw her. You saw no other guests.
She was falling
housekeeping.
all over the walls. I mean, visibly drunk. I mean, come on.
You saw no employees, no nothing. It was just a clear hotel. But she managed to go down there drunk and strong enough to close the door behind her.
Right. She couldn't even support herself walking down the hallway.
Exactly.
So, I mean, yeah. So it's a lot of, like you said, holes in the story. But I'm certain in the upcoming days and weeks that they're going to uncover more to this.
Absolutely. So that is a lesson, you guys. Make sure you be careful about your surroundings. Be careful about your friends.
Yeah.
And for the young teenagers, and don't worry, we were told the same thing. Y'all have so much time to grow up. You'll get to the point where you are 30 and you don't even want to drink like that. You'll be like, hey, give me a glass of wine. Like, it gets over, what do you call it?
It's very overrated. I know at this age, I do not pay the kind of money I pay for hair and makeup to go somewhere to be looking crazy, waking up on the floor.
Exactly. But all means, you have to do it. Get out your system. But it's just very, very important for you to watch your surroundings, watch your friends, and never do something that you don't want to do. All right?
Exactly.
And, girls, be better friends.
Right.
Sorry, sucky ass friends. All right, guys. So you're listening to The Real with Rachel D. Make sure you keep it here. We have more show coming up for you, but we have another mix by DJ Jack Nice. Keep it here. All right, guys. Welcome back to The Real with Rachel D. I just checked my work phone and I realized something, BJ.
What's up?
I really need to start checking my work phone.
Uh-oh.
And a whole bunch of seriously, like scouts and stuff. Like, hey, you remember me? Can I call you? And it was... Yeah, sorry, guys, but I will get back to you. Not that you're listening. All right, so it is that time of the show. Miss BJ, I'm super excited about this week's Petty Betty Awards.
Oh, yes. It was, we didn't have many nominees, but the nominees we have are tried and true petty people. So we have coming up first, ESPN. They tried it when they tried to pull Jamel off her spotlight. But the thing is, they didn't even call homegirl and let her know ahead of time. Like, don't even worry. Don't take the bonnet off. Don't take the wrap off. Come on into work. They waited till she showed up to let her know that they didn't want her to go in there trying to find a replacement. She was in-house in the studio before they let her know they wanted to try to trade her out.
I did not know that. Really?
So, yeah. So it's not like they didn't call her. That's why she was able to go on the air with no problem, because she was in-house. She was already at the studio. So ESPN for being petty. We have Kevin Durant. When you need to learn how to handle, if you're going to be a lurker, professional lurker, you need to talk to your sister. I'm certain there's a cousin. There's someone who knows how to handle social media. If you want to troll yourself or troll people from a fake account, log out of your account before you troll. I mean, talk to a professional dude. And then our third Petty Betty award is to whoever the quote-unquote mystery videographer is of Kevin Hart's sex tape. So apparently, since he said he was being extorted by this woman, the woman is saying, hey, it wasn't me. I don't know who it was who did the video.
Is that how she talks?
Well, no, I'm just assuming. But whoever this mystery person is, and, they're not the one trying to extort Kevin Hart, but they sure do have the videos. Petty. I mean, because it seems like everyone's trying to come up on a come up. So those are my nominees for this week. We have ESPN, Durant, and whoever the mystery videographer is.
All right. So, I have to say, I'm kind of torn between ESPN and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
So I'm going to state my opinions. ESPN, because that I did not know. I did not know that. I knew they were trying to replace her, but I did not know that they weren't going to tell her, and she showed up.
Right, because that's why she was able. They were trying to do all this so quick. They didn't even let her know until she was there. That's why she was able to make the show, still have a flawless show, because she was there already. I mean, that is crazy.
See, now it makes so much extra sense as to why nobody accepted her position, because Janelle, if you ever see her, she looked like she gets down with the get down. She looked like, oh, I'm getting fired? Well, I might as well take your butt along. She likes you to beat your butt, basically.
Yeah, so they went to the other studio and said, hey, can we borrow your black, sports people to come over here? For who? Jamel? Oh, I don't roll with her. Nope.
They were like, yo, power. And the second one, Kevin Durant. Now, Kevin, you have way too much money. Your assistant could have did this.
Yes.
And this just proves how women are better than men. Because a woman would have did all that and been looking you dead in your face like, whose account is that? I have no idea.
Right.
Let me see. What she posted? What? Let me see, girl.
Right.
Like, we're so clean with it.
We will create 4 different accounts, have the 4 different fake accounts arguing with each other, and then sit back and act like we don't know what. Look at this mess. Oh my God. We will have a backstory. We will start this account in 8th grade and we'll hold on to it for college. So when we select a friend who we think is messing around with a friend, they'll say, oh, okay, they've had the account since 2012. They're a real person. Don't do me.
Oh, BJ.
Do not do me. Because you know how you check to see how long the person had an account. If it was just created yesterday, they have one friend and they try to be your friend and you have no mutual acquaintances.
Yep.
Oh, fake account. But trust me, we will slowly and meticulously become friends of your cousins. And you'll be like, oh, okay, she has 88 mutual friends. Mm-hmm. I'll accept her friend request. Boom, I'm in.
Well, to me, it depends on the mutual friend. If you just have like a whole spread of my friends and they don't make sense,
Right.
I'm not going to do that. But
Right.
I would know if you're from high school, it's like, oh, that's my high school people. If you're from college, if you're from, former jobs. But if you just, because I've had a couple people like that where I'm like, I have 15 mutual friends, but they're all mixed together and I don't know how any of us would know each other besides me.
Right.
Not accepting it. But my overall vote will go to ESPN. You don't let somebody come to work and spend that gas and stay in that Connecticut/New York traffic to make it.
To tell them to go off. So actually, Rachel, you have the winner on your I think you have it.
I
You-
do.
Yeah. So it's very interesting.
Oh, I get to announce the winner?
Mm-hmm.
And the winner for the Petty Betty Awards is, drum roll please, ESPN.
What?
Actually, let's change that.
Yes.
All right. Would you like to make the acceptance speech or should I?
You know what? Being that my friend Rachel is such an excellent person, she actually used to work in broadcasting. She actually has some experience with sports. So I'm going to let her, because, she's so close to Jamel.
You know what? I have experience in sports and in shady employers.
Yes.
So, please, here we go. So, on behalf of all of the strong, opinionated employees out there,
Yes.
who knows their worth,
Preach.
who knows they need to be paid more, who knows that they deserve those raises in life,
Yes.
I am here to accept the award from on behalf of the ESPN to let you know you stay in your place. No, you're not allowed to speak about Donald Trump and all the things that he has done. It doesn't matter if they talked about your hair as a black woman. You do not speak out and you do not defend yourself. And for the other employees who think that, just because they've been working for our company for 10 years and haven't gotten a raise,
Right.
you do not deserve a raise.
Petty.
In fact, you don't even deserve the time off that you do have. And I want to say I am so grateful for all those who do not stand up for themselves, who take what we give them because they know deep down inside that they are undeserving. And because of those people, industries like ESPN can keep doing what they're doing. Thank you.
I'm telling you. That had to be one of the most pettiest speeches ever. Good God.
Gosh, if only a couple people I used to work for were sitting in this room when I was talking about certain things.
Right? Oh my goodness. The shade is cold over here.
All right, Miss BJ, that is the wrap of today's show.
The hashtag.
Oh, that is true. Miss
Yeah.
BJ, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
What's your hashtag of the
Okay,
week?
this hashtag is dedicated to Kevin Hart.
Okay.
It's hashtag sorry, not sorry. When people only apologize because they got caught, this is also a little shade to shady coworkers. So hashtag sorry, not sorry. When people only apologize because they got caught or things didn't work out the way they wanted it to, and now they have to save face. So you are basically sorry that you didn't get what you want, but not sorry that what you wanted was wrong in the first place.
That does sound very familiar.
Yes. So sorry, not sorry. Basically meaning you're not sorry at all. You're a sorry individual, but you're not sorry about what you did.
See, they should have listened to Beyonce. Beyonce straight up, she ain't sorry. When
No.
you come, I'm sorry for what I did. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
sorry
If you
got
were mean to someone and was judging them for something that didn't even happen or took place, just because you were in your feelings, sorry, not sorry. You said what you said, you did what you did, and you meant it. Don't try to save face now that you're in a different ball court.
All right, sounds good. I got all that shade. I got exactly what BJ was talking about. I love it. All right, guys, you're listening to The Real with Rachel D. Thank you again for joining us here every Thursday at WATV 1420. Make sure you join us again, same time, same place. But a quick reminder, go on social media again, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter at The Real with Rachel D. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. So, Ms. BJ, hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
All right, guys, we're going to leave you with the mix from DJ Jack Nice, and we will check you guys again next week. Same time, same place. Peace.